737 and News Talk 720 KDWN. As we walk through the door to another half hour. Indeed. Of course, the Doors right here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Alan Stock. Great to have you with us on this Friday morning. The Ion Entertainment coming up in the next hour, and toward the end of this half hour, we've got Kathy Jung coming up with our pet pick of the week. You want to get a preview? No problem. Go to alanstock.com. And speaking of alanstock.com, my internet guru is Kevin Richards with Ventura Web Design, so that's a way of disclosure. And he's joining us right now on the KDWN Live line, and I appreciate it very much. Kevin, thanks for being with us.
Hey, good morning, Alan. How are you today?
I am doing absolutely great. Let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about here. First of all, the internet sales tax being debated left and right. Some say it will actually level the playing field for the local retailers, because now the internet does not charge tax. You can buy something on the internet and not pay tax. You have to go to your local retailer. You have to buy it maybe at the same price if you're lucky, and then pay tax on top of that. So they're saying it's going to level the playing field. Yes or no?
Well, the history of it is if you are a retailer and you're located in Nevada and you don't have any locations anywhere else nationwide, you are only required to collect sales tax for sales that you're shipping to people in Nevada. So what they're looking to do is make it so that retailers in Nevada, if you collect more than $1 million a year in revenue total, you then have to collect sales tax for 50 states and 9,600 taxing jurisdictions. So if you've ever been the lucky recipient of an audit from the IRS, now you get 50 more chances at least for audits.
Wow. So you're going to have to know what it is that each state uses as a sales tax measure.
Exactly. So people like Amazon used to be really opposed to this. They had it was basically a heat map, an internal company heat map, and what they would do is they would identify states that were safe to do business with and those that were not. And it would be identified like a stop sign. So red was absolutely not, yellow was maybe check with legal, and green was go for it. Now Amazon has changed their tune because about a year and a half ago they figured out that they could make money off of the collection of sales tax. So if you're a seller using the Amazon Web Store platform or selling through their Seller Central tool, you will now have the ability and the obligation to collect sales tax as well as pay Amazon for the service of collecting that sales tax for you and remitting it to the agencies.
So the internet sales companies will make money on this?
Absolutely. And now, the Marketplace Fairness Act, that's what the Senate passed last week. What they're saying is that they're requiring the states to provide free software, and they're requiring the states to only have one entity that you'd have to work with, and 22 states are already on board because they've passed the Streamlined Sales and Use Tax Agreement. But the reality is, online stores use so many different technologies. They're called platforms. It's your e-commerce platform that you use to sell on. There's so many different technologies. There's no such thing as one size fits all. There's companies out there that currently provide this for the larger internet sellers who do have multiple locations and who are required to collect sales tax. But if you're a internet retailer doing $1 million, $2 million, or even $5 million, the reality is you're not making enough money to cover the $10,000 to $15,000 a year that software really costs, as well as the maintenance and integration.
So how will it once again affect the local retailers? I mean, if they in fact do sell the same thing that you can find online without paying tax, I mean, is it going to level the playing field for any of those folks?
No, as a small retailer, that's the whole point. It's not leveling the playing field at all. That's why Amazon's getting behind it. It's actually doing the opposite. If you're a small retailer, it's making your life significantly more difficult. And one of the things they're doing is they're using this $1 million mark. They're making it seem, wow, if you're making $1 million, you're really rolling in the dough. Yeah. Most people don't realize that as a small retailer, you start out before you sell a product, you purchase that product for about 60 to 70% of the price that you're ultimately going to sell it for. So before you've paid your employees, before you've paid rent, utilities, and all of your marketing, you're out $70 of that $100 product. Then after you've paid all those other fees, you're lucky if you end up with a 5 to 10% margin on that $100 product that you sold. That's why when you look at Walmart and you realize that their business is all about volume, you start to understand the retail business model a little bit better.
So small retailer is not a good idea. For people like Amazon, a good idea. Chances are it will pass. Yes or no?
I'm not one to. I live in Las Vegas, but I'm not a gambling guy. I don't know on that one. We're hoping that the House will put some amendments in there, and it's kind of an interesting thing. If it's so easy to collect the sales tax and anybody can do it, why is there a $1 million threshold exemption?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be that everybody can collect it? If you're making $5 to $10 million online, that doesn't magically help you be able to deal with 50 audits, every single year, and all the other legal ramifications.
Tell me about these Google glasses that are out. People, you can wear a glass, and what do they do exactly? What's the function?
Well, Google Glass is a pretty cool technology. It's come out. It's very Star Trek kind of technology. Basically, you wear some glasses on your head, and it has speakers that use the bone behind your ear to let you hear what's going on. You've got a camera that's constantly rolling, and basically it's got you connected to the internet 24/7. You can see it right through your field of vision. And it's kind of neat technology. It's caught the attention of the U.S. Congress. They sent a letter to Google's CEO, Larry Page, asking him if these products could infringe upon the privacy of the average American citizen, and asking him to respond to a series of questions.
Well, it certainly could infringe. The big issue also is how would it be for people driving? How you couldn't drive with one of these and then be distracted by having all these things going on at one time. And also, I might add that local casinos here in Las Vegas have banned them.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. When you wear the glasses, if you want to see what's being projected onto the glass, you look up. So you definitely take your eyes off of what's in front of you. And right now there's an app that gives you New York Times alerts. So you could be walking around and you could be getting the latest New York Times, whatever's coming across the stream. Ultimately, obviously, there's going to be a Twitter integration, so you can just constantly have a live Twitter stream. You're going to be, fully connected 24/7 if you want to be.
Wow, incredible! All right, I want to talk a little bit when we come back about Amy's Baking Company. I happened to see that particular show that was done on the Kitchen Nightmare with Chef Ramsay, and I'm sitting. We couldn't believe it. I mean, the most amazing of all of his kitchen nightmares ever. So
social media experts there.
Well, yeah, but they've now gone to the social media to deal with this whole thing. We'll talk about it in just a moment. I've got Kevin Richards joining me, Ventura Web Design. And if you saw that show, by the way, stick around. We got some thoughts on that. And right after Kevin, it's our pet pick of the week. I've got Kathy Jung bringing in a great pooch. You want to get an advance look? Go to allenstock.com, and I guarantee you're going to love this particular pooch. .749 News Talk 720 KDWN. Procol Harum with a song called Conquistador. One of their in concert, they do a dynamite job of that, by the way. Great, one of the greatest groups ever, Procol Harum. I'm Alan Stock. Thanks so much for joining us. Our pet pick of the week coming up in a few moments. You want to find out about the pet pick of the week? Go to allenstock.com. Joining me right now on the KDWN live line is Kevin Richards. He being the principal owner of Ventura Web Design, and I'm glad you're joining me this morning. The Amy's Baking Company was the last stop of Chef Ramsay on this last season's Kitchen Nightmare, and it was an absolute nightmare. He has never walked out on any job ever before. He walked out on this because these people are nuts, and now they're taking to the internet, I guess, to fight back. What's going on?
Well, the history there is, about 2 years ago, they had some diners in there, and we've all heard about Yelp, and we've all heard that bloggers like to go to restaurants and enjoy or not so much enjoy the food, and then write paragraphs and pages upon pages about their experience. So Amy, the chef owner, and her husband Sammy, Sammy's job is apparently to yell at the patrons who don't like her food, but then not tell her that nobody likes her food. And then Amy's job is to hop onto social media and call the people who have given her bad reviews morons and losers. So the neat thing is they aired on Kitchen Nightmares back on May 10th. And since that aired, they've gone from nearly zero social media presence to now more than 85,000 likes on Facebook. And the interesting thing about that is negative PR, as we all know, can sometimes be positive. So the interesting thing here is if they're smart, which they have hired a PR firm, they're going to be able to take all the buzz, all the traffic that's coming to their website, rebrand themselves, and suddenly be very well known and have a lot of control over their social media experience.
Wait a minute. They have 85,000 likes, meaning people agree with the Amy's Baking Company?
That's the neat thing about Facebook. A like is the only tool you have to kind of interact with a company. It does not necessarily mean that you like them.
Okay.
I know I've got a lot of friends who liked them, and they're doing it because you can't turn your head away from watching the train wreck, right?
Oh, and it was an absolute train wreck. I mean, Sammy. Somebody actually complained to Sammy that they had been taking a long time since they had been served, and he says to them to F off right there. No, this is the owner of the place telling the customer, and then they try to Shanghai some customers who are leaving because they didn't get served. They go, I don't care how you get it served. You got to pay for it anyway. And of course, her attitude, she keeps rolling her eyes every time Chef Ramsay tries to tell us something. It's like, yeah, okay, fine, sure. She's like a spoiled valley girl.
Oh yeah, and I'm not sure if she's from Vegas or not. They claim that Sammy was a big Vegas playboy, better than Hugh Hefner, right?
A playboy? Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah, if you've seen the episode, I think you know better. But I mean, if you look at their social
media, if he was the playboy, I'm the Pope. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. Somebody commented, unflattering portrayal on TV included when you yelled at a customer, demanded he pay for food he didn't receive, physically assault him, and then threatened to call the cops on him. The camera must add 5 pounds of unprofessional. Because the whole point is Amy's screaming on social media that, Chef Ramsay's portraying her incorrectly. All these bloggers are portraying them incorrectly. She's just the victim of cyberbullying.
Well, that's what she said the whole time. She said that they both claimed they were victims, and no matter what went on, were victims, and they wound up firing a gal because she asked a simple question, and they went through 100 people in a year, 100 employees they fired in a year. These people are psycho. But if you want to see the train wreck, it's Amy's Baking Company online. You can go there. I wouldn't like them. You just go look and take a look and watch the train wreck, because I think that's all it's worth. I mean, they really are. They are nuts. And, of course, again, this is the only show he ever walked out on. Everyone else, it's a tough road to hoe, but he stuck with it, and he was able to help turn things around, and the people went ahead and were able to make some money and, have a successful business. These people just would not listen to him. Why they asked him there in the first place, when they wouldn't listen to him, that's what Rhoda and I were scratching our heads about. If you didn't want to listen to him, why did you even invite him in the first place?
Well, the funny thing is they've most recently claimed that all those bad comments on their Facebook and social media were the result of them being hacked, and they claim to have made a report to the Scottsdale Police Department. We actually called them, tried to get a comment from the Scottsdale Police Department. They said no comment, they're not going to get involved.
Well,
I highly doubt that a police report was actually made.
Kitchen Nightmare was not hacked, and we saw it, and I'm telling you, these people are nuts. Okay, Amy's Baking Company. Kevin Richards, Ventura Web Design. You want to find out more about Ventura Web Design, go to allenstock.com, and right there you can click on Ventura Web Design right on the right-hand side of the page. Find out more about them. Great people. They do a great job. Obviously, look at my website. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. I do appreciate it, and we'll talk again next week.
Hey, thanks for having me. Next week we'll talk about Facebook fatigue and what's going to happen there.
All right. Take good care. Kevin Richards with Ventura Web Design joining us on News Talk 720 KDWN.